Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shamayo. We run metaphysical empowerment and wellness events throughout the Northwest in Seattle, Portland, Salem, and Eugene. We interview our practitioners, our vendors, so you get a better sense of who they are and know what you're going to enjoy when you come to our events. So I'm here today interviewing Murray Porath. So Murray, tell us a little bit about how you open to your work and what you share at our events.
Well, I have two talents that I bring to the events. I'm a healer and I'm a reader. How did I become a healer? 1973. That's a long time ago. 1973, I had an accident and my L4 was compressed, which was very, very, very painful.
And can you just at L4, it's one of the vertebrae, or?
Yes, it's the lumbar vertebrae. It's just the second to the last.
Okay. So
now, I wound up driving over 300 miles to see somebody I had never met who was recommended to me, and she was a healer. That isn't the reason I went to see her, but she's a healer. She had me lie face down. She put her hands on my back. I had no idea what to expect. But what happened was her hands got incredibly hot. The pain got worse and worse, and it disappeared. It was gone. Wow. The next thing that happened was she sat down, put her hands out, had me put my hands in her. And about 2 seconds, she said, "You can do the same as I. You have the talent." I do? Well, it turns out I did. And I've been doing that type of healing. I'm also a Reiki, Usui Reiki 3B practitioner. That's the master level. I just don't like using the word. And I've developed my own method because I'm also very interested in Kabbalah. I had a very intensive Jewish education. I'm fluent in Hebrew. And after 30 years of being a dilettante, 5 years of some serious study, and a year or two of intense, I asked the right question. Now, this presupposes a little knowledge of the tree of life. So here is a tree of life glyph, which I usually wear around my neck. Tree of life is God said, "Let there be light," and the first sphera appeared, which then gave birth to the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, 10th. 10 sphera. This is God, the universe, and everything. And this path is called the lightning flash, the path of creation. Now that's the big tree, but there are smaller trees. Two of them are having a conversation right now. You're a tree, I'm a tree. Anybody who's watching, you're a tree too. So I finally asked the right question, which is, what happens when you stimulate another person's sphirot in the same order as creation, the lightning flash? That's the basis of my method. There's more to it than that because there's not just one tree, there's 4 trees. There's not just the names of the sphirot, there's the God names, the archangels, etc. But that's what I do. Now, the other is reading tarot. By the most amazing coincidence, I got started reading tarot with the same person who started me on healing. 44 years. That's a lot. Not only do I do that, I get impressions from objects, psychometry, and I have 2 other methods I use. One is Hebrew lots. Lots? Lots are mentioned several times in the Bible. They cast lots in the book of Jonah to determine who was at fault. Turned out to be Jonah. Haman casts lots in the book of Esther. The Persian word for lot is Pur. The festival is called Purim. Lots, think of it as runes in Hebrew, but not in Futhark. 22 discs with Hebrew, each with a Hebrew letter. Each letter has a pictographic meaning, has a numerological value. Take out a certain number, it tells a story. And the third was developed by my wife, Kat. And she calls them crone stones. They are 13 stones that have a hidden side that the querent picks. You turn them over, there are symbols. Again, you read that and they've turned out to be very, very accurate. And that's what I offer for your festivals.
Oh, that's great. I have a few questions, some of them fairly ignorant questions.
42.
How are lots spelled? Is it L-O-T-S?
L-O-T-S, lots.
And then I'm, three of my grandparents are Jewish, but I wasn't raised in the Jewish tradition. And so the bit that I know culturally, I don't really know much about the Tree of Life or any of this work. Is it just because I wasn't in the spiritual tradition of it, or is it not as well known, or?
No, it's because it's more esoteric. The Tree of Life is Kabbalah, and Kabbalah is not something that in most synagogues is handed to you in Sunday school. In fact, it used to be that Kabbalah was reserved for married men over the age of 40. Why over the age of 40? Because by then they had fulfilled the first commandment, be fruitful and multiply. They were established. They could study the hidden stuff.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I wasn't in the tradition. I wasn't a man, and I was not over 40 at the time. So, okay.
Other than that, though, you're completely qualified.
How great. Maybe can you share a little bit about what a reading is like for someone, or what a healing is like? What actually happens?
Well,
I mean, even just the process, so someone knows how they engage at a fair.
Well, first off, there's this very comfortable patio chair that you get to lie down in for the reading. I will sift through the aura to take out what doesn't belong. I will do a chakra cleansing. And then I will do invocations in Hebrew. I will send energy to each of the sfirot in turn. Keter, Chochmah, Bina, Da'at, Gedula, Gevura, etc. This sets up for the next one, which goes with the God names, the next one, which goes with the archangels, and one more time with the names of the choirs of angels. And then there's the activation phase. And then there's the sealing of it and the deactivation. Now, a friend of mine who's received it more than once says, this is a cosmic reboot. This is taking me back to who I was supposed to be. This is taking me back to the original pattern. I think she's right. Another thing, this person had been in a bad traffic accident and had several memory deficits. Each time she receives a treatment, she has fewer deficits. What does this do? It does good stuff, and I'm still in the beta phase. I'm still finding out what it does.
That's great. And you started off saying that before you do the reading, you have someone laying in the chair as well. So you do both the readings and the healing together in that way.
For readings, they can sit in the chair, the regular chair across from me on the table, and I will read. I will shuffle the tarot until I think it's right, divide it into 3 packs, have the person choose which pack from which I will do the reading. As soon as they do that, I say, no, you should have picked that one as well. Then everybody laughs, we're fine, and we go to the next.
That's great.
For the Hebrew lots, I have them face down. The person picks out, no, I pick out 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I check out the readings. For the crone stones, again, face down, but the person picks out 3.
And
that's how it works.
If the person is drawn to a particular type of reading, that's what you work with, and if it's not, like you to have an intuition of what would be better for them? Is that?
Well, I have a 5-card tarot reading, and the lot readings, and the Crohnstone's reading, and they all cost the same. Then if they want something more, I have a Celtic cross, which is an 11 card reading. That does cost more.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Yeah, so lots of different choices. How exciting. If people want to learn more about you on the web, where should they go?
There is a website, but it's really rudimentary, and it's under the business name, Readings and More. And it's all letters. There's no ampersand. So readingsandmore.com. Anybody who needs to get in touch with me or just wants to get in touch with me, readingsandmore@yahoo.com. We also have a meetup, Readings and More. And that's really the best way to find out where I'm going to be and what is going to be happening, and whether you will be graced to have my wife Kat come too, who makes some of the most wonderful stuff. I've seen you drool over her brooms.
Indeed, they're beautiful. Great. Well, I'm glad. So people have lots of ways to get in touch with you and find out what you're doing. And they also can find you at our Metaphysical Empowerment and Wellness fairs. So those are available on the web at MetaphysicalEmpowermentEvents.com. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks so much, Murray.
Oh, before we go, I
Yes.
should mention one other thing. At all sort of metaphysical events, you'll find some things that are real, some things that aren't. Lorelei is real. I've had a reading. My wife's had a reading. Go see Lorelei.
Thank you so much, Murray. Yes, I also share my work at the fairs too. I'm an intuitive eye reader. We look forward to seeing you.
Okay, thank you.